Nice to meet you too.
Hi, Christopher. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're very welcome. And you
Yeah.
are Sameth?
Yes, yes. Thank
Right.
you. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for the agenda. Just gotta copy it real quick here. Hi, Martha. Hi, Savong. Hi, Dennis. Welcome.
Hi, Smith. Good afternoon.
Hi. I'm glad you're on, Savong. You're on the phone. That's awesome.
I'm on the phone.
Yay. Hi, Ben. Welcome, Ben.
Hi, Sameth. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop the link to the chat one more time. It's the agenda, and I have to drop it every time more folks come in because not everyone gets to see it if new folks get in.
Excellent.
Ben, thanks for giving us a recap today. So looking forward to the report back for folks.
Okay.
Let's see. More folks coming through. And then, yeah, let us know how we can help to bring the word people that you were connecting us with through the one pager for like another discussion. That'd be awesome. Hi, Sean, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to give folks probably 3 minutes after 2. So apologies, I don't have any elevator music, but we will definitely start at 2:03.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to run shortly after like 2:30 or yeah, 2:30ish. I don't know how long.
No worries. Thank you. And for those of you who are the first time on here, just let us know also if you want to be on the listserv where we send out resources and just connect for other action items. You're welcome to, and if you do want that, you can DM me your email, or you can also send an email to my email, which I'm putting in the chat here to make sure you're also listed. Hi, Chanda. What up?
Not much. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I cannot wait until next week because it's going to be 66 degrees. Imagine what that's going to do during COVID when everyone's going to be out.
Well, looks like people are getting vaccinated at a rapid pace, so
Yeah, totally good.
yeah.
Oh, hi,
happened?
Cindy.
Hi. How are
Good to
you?
see you. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Cindy.
Oh man, hi. How are you? Good to see
Long time no
you.
see. Yeah.
No, nice to see you.
Good
Hey
reunion.
Ben,
Yes.
did you know my mom died?
Oh, she did when?
She died February 16th.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How old was she when she died?
She was 91.
Oh God, I miss that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Ben
used to go to.
Ben and I have been friends for a long time. That's why I told him that. He knew my mom. Yeah. So
Yeah, so sorry for that. But all the writings that you've shared on
That's a
Facebook.
sweet lady. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks, Sumit.
Yeah.
So we'll give folks maybe another minute or two to all jump on. But what I did was I just added the agenda into the chat. And I'm sorry, I'm adding it multiple times just because as new people come in, they don't get to see the old chats. Sounds good. Why don't we go ahead and start, and then as people join us, they can also hop onto the discussion. But I wanted to start off just to give us some space to introduce ourselves that are part of this group. So if you don't mind, we'll go around and just hear from folks their name, organization, and pronouns. I was going to say date of birth, but that's not needed. It's like name and date of birth. You don't need to do that. Hi, everyone. My name is Samit Mel, and I use he, him pronouns, and I'm with Equity and Education Coalition. I'm going to pass this over to Christopher.
To who?
To Chris, not Christopher, because you're not in trouble. Hi, Chris.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm Chris Lovings. I work for Eastside Legal Assistance Program, he, him pronouns. Happy to be in this space. Hope you all are doing okay today.
Thank you, Chris. And then Christopher.
I am Christopher Larson, go by he, him pronouns. I'm with EEC and Stop the Hate Community.
Thank you. Hi, Anissa.
Hi, my name is Anissa. I'm a deported adoptee in Central America, Panama. I was deported in 2006. Hi, Alice. I'm a co-founder for Adoptee Advocacy, and I work contract for Adoptees for Justice.
Thank you, Anissa. Hi, Ben.
Hi, my name is Ben Cabildo. My real name is Sabino Cabildo. I actually grew up in Seattle, but now I'm now in Spokane. I run the organization called AHANA. It's to help the small businesses in Spokane.
Thank you, Ben. And then Savong.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Savong Lam, and I'm with the Cambodian American Community Council of Washington, and I go by she and her.
Thank you, Savong. Hi, Sean.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Sean Greenlee. I'm a DEI consultant, and I actually was invited here by Chris to speak on behalf of Chris. I worked with him while I was at Starbucks in the Career Bridge program.
Thank you, Sean. Hi, Chanda.
Resident of Seattle, from Seattle.
Sorry. Thank you, Sean. Hi, Chanda.
Hi everyone, my name is Chanda. I go by she, her pronouns, and I am also with the Cambodian American Community Council of Washington. And here's my daughter, she wants to say hello.
Hello. Awesome. Thank you. Hi, Alice.
Hello, happy Khmer New Year. My name is Alice. I have she, her pronouns or any pronouns, and I'm from Tacoma. Need to represent Two-Town. And I'm with CEO.
Thank you, Alice. Hi, Cindy.
Cindy Domingo, she, her, and I'm with LELO, Legacy of Equality, Leadership and Organizing, and also APALA, Asian Pacific American Labor Alliance.
Thank you. Hi, Martha.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Martha Ramos, she and her. I know Christopher for years and years already now. I'm working with Happily Retired since November 2019 and working in two different organizations, El Comité and the Washington Driver Licensing Task Force.
Awesome. Thank you, Martha. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, half a day. Dennis Larson from Guam. I'm the big brother of Christopher there. Just here to support my brother.
That's awesome. Thank you, Dennis. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Samit. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael Itty with CISC, he, him, and I'm in Seattle.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, Asia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Asia Taylor. I'm with Native Action Network based in Seattle and Tukwila, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a citizen of the Cherokee Nation.
Thank you, Asia. Hi, Noelani.
Hi everyone, I'm Noah Loney. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm with Washington Listens and EEC. And also I have my camera off because I'm with my nieces and nephews, and they also are just running around, and I want to be mindful of other people's frights for their kids. So that's the only reason. But hi everyone.
Thank you, Noloni. Hi, Nicole.
Hi everyone. Oh, okay. Hi everyone. My name is Nicole. I use she, her pronouns, and I work on EEC and the Washington Listens program.
Thank you, Nicole. Hi, Yolene.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yolin Connor, and I'm with Organización Centroamericana, and I use THELM. Thank you.
Thank you, Yolene. Hi, Risa.
Hello, my name is Risa Nagel. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm EEC's Policy and Development Manager. Thanks.
Thank you. And hi, Renika.
Hi, my name is Renika. I use she, her pronouns, and I work for the Equity in Education Coalition, doing some PIC coordination work as well as communications and event planning.
Thank you, Renika. Hi, Tita.
Hi, everyone. Susan Knamtamai, that's Khmer New Year's coming up, with the Khmer community of Seattle, King County, and I go by she, her. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Devin.
Hi, this is Devin Cabanella, and I'm a senior project manager with Seattle Public Schools. I go by he, him, and right now I'm working out of Bellevue. Normally I'm working out of the International District in Seattle, and glad to see everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. Hi, Falake.
Hello, this is Falake. I'm the project manager for the Kent Community Development Collaborative. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Hi, Angela.
Hi, so great to see everybody here. Angela Castañeda, she, her, Beacon Business Alliance, Rainier Ave Business Coalition, and Ecolink.
Thank you.
I mean, Ecolazos, sorry.
Thank you. Hi, Ali. Welcome, Ali.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm Allie Lee, she, her from Duwamish Land here, and I'm with the King County International Airport Community Coalition and also from Climate Reality.
Thank you. Hi, Kunjan.
Hi everyone, nice to see you all. I am Kunjan Kapoor. I work as a cultural navigator with IAWW, India Association of Western Washington. Nice to see you all.
Thank you. And hi, Talika.
Hi everyone. Hi Samit. Nice to see you all. She, her pronouns, also from India Association of Western Washington. There's our logo behind Kunjan's face. And cultural navigator, case manager, working with small businesses and whatever the pandemic requires our community to do.
Thank you, Talika. And good to see you, Rial. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Rial Johnson, Prison Washington, Snohomish County NAACP, and Spectrum Dance Leader.
Thank you. And drive safely while you're on the phone with us. Thank you, Rial. Thank you, folks, for the introductions. I'm going to drop the agenda again. And looks like there is a lot to cover in the agenda, but we definitely want to make sure that we get to the conversation with supporting Christopher Larson in the pardons process. So we're going to do report backs first. I'm going to go ahead and ask folks reporting back to spend at least 2 to 3 minutes on some high level stuff that you've been working on. So I'm going to give the floor to Ben. Ben and Velma's been leading our business support committee, and there has been some really good workshops taking place. Ben, the floor is yours to give us a report back. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, I'll be brief. We had an excellent meeting, although not very many participants, but it was excellent. I talked about AHANA, which is our organization, and the successes that we have achieved in a short time. as well as we invited Ann Gorman from US Bank to talk about their initiatives to help the BIPOC communities, particularly the small businesses. With regards to AHANA, AHANA came into being to promote the economic development and business opportunities of the multi-ethnic businesses in Spokane through advocacy, networking, and capacity building. And on advocacy, we focused on a couple of items. One is to provide access to contracting opportunities for both the state and private corporations. And in this front, we have made headways with corporations in Spokane. We're actually developing, we're helping corporations develop their supplier diversity program, as well as we're developing a regional supplier diversity initiative to help the multi-ethnic businesses in the Spokane region. And this work includes all the major corporations, as well as some officials from the municipal government. So you're going to hear some of the initiatives once we make a public announcement. And I hope that this can be done in other areas as well, because in order for our businesses to be successful and grow, access to contracting opportunities are very, very important. The second thing that I'd like to report is that part of the advocacy work is to access to capital. So we have had discussions with various banks as well as credit unions in Spokane so that we can actually establish programs to make it easy for multi-ethnic businesses to get financing for their startup, as well as for growing their businesses here. And one of that success is working with the US Bank. So we invited US Bank, and Ann Gorman talked about the initiative that they have developed based on the advocacy that we have been doing here in Spokane, as well as there are other business providers in other areas that have been talking with US Bank. Let me summarize what the US Bank is doing. The US Bank's Access Commitment is a series of initiatives across the business to increase wealth building opportunities, starting with the Black community. This commitment includes $25 million of micro business funds for women of color business owners. So the second one is this access commitment. They have developed a mortgage program focused on home ownership, education, and hiring in the real estate market. The third one is focus on building sustained wealth as part of US Bank wealth management business for the diverse community. The next one is basically to help BIPOC businesses with funds so that they can contract with corporations as well as the state, because sometimes contracting is fairly hard to get in without funding programs. because sometimes the business is not big enough to be able to get contract with corporations. And they're also talking about workforce diversity within all of the U.S. bank companies throughout the United States. So, so this initiative is really important for everybody to know, so that you can help small businesses access this the U.S. bank program. So, Samet, can you share with each and every one the email from Ann Gorman?
Yes. Thank you, Ben. Yes, it's all in the agenda. So if folks want to access the documents, they're all listed in the agenda at the last page. You'll be able to view all those resources and then access Ahana's PowerPoint as well as the US Bank one as well. Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Thank you for that presentation. Ben, would you be able to add your email address in the chat just in case folks want to connect with you and help support that effort?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And next on the agenda is just the digital equity cohort meeting that we had yesterday. As you can see, there's a document link. If you open up that document link, it goes to a whole next steps that we'll be working on for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And then also some questions that came from the group yesterday that we will present to the larger Connect Washington Digital Equity Coalition of the state tomorrow. There's a lot of questions on this FCC emergency broadband benefit. And as you can tell, they are listed in there from our communities. If you do feel like you are lost in the EBB, trust me, I'm in the same spot. Every time they talk about it, I feel like I need a PhD to decipher what's going on. So we're supposed to be letting our communities know, and we want to make sure that it's palatable. So if you have time, look that through, and you're welcome to add your questions or just connect with us as well, as we make sure that families are going to receive that $50 to $75 a month for their internet and broadband. With that said, I do want to go ahead and invite Washington Listens team. Martine may not be here, but Noloni and Nicole and Chris, do you want to just give us a good minute or two overview of what's up in your lane and how folks can also support?
I'll give the update. We are building relationships with BIPOC communities right now, and reaching out to some BIPOC organizations. And we're sharing our mental health presentation. So if anyone would like us to present again in any of their spaces, please reach out to me. I'll drop my email in the chat. We're also starting conversations around mental health in our spaces. And we also have a Google Voice number and flyer if you would all like to check it out. And I'll drop the link to that in the chat right now. Great.
Thank you, Nicole, for that. And yes, the link would be helpful. Yes, you got that down. Thank you. So if anyone wants to check in with the team, please connect with Nicole and the team around their work. The next thing is I just wanted to give, I know Sharon is busy right now, so I wanted to give everyone an update around our vaccination pop-ups. I don't know if this is going to be overwhelming or not, but in less than 6 days, we have 4,000 pre-registered people for the vaccine. So it's going to be kind of like a logistical nightmare, but we know that the need is there. And these BIPOC folks, we've been reaching out for the last 5 to 6 days. We're working with CHI Franciscan to administer vaccine pop-ups at Green River Community College, Highline College, at Tukwila Transit Station, as well as the Renton Technical College. If you are interested to sign in for the pre-registration, the link is in the agenda, as well as if you do feel like you want to help volunteer, the link is also available there if you do. We want to make sure all our volunteers get vaccinated, so all our volunteers do get vaccinated as well. Which goes to our next thing is with Lumen Field. We've been involved in advocating with Trang's group. Trang 2 has created a huge vaccine equity advocacy group. So we went to check out Lumen Field last Saturday, I believe, not this Saturday. And there were some feedback. There's some wins too. Looks like we are going to have Stop Asian Hate or End White Supremacy posters at Lumen Field, because that's one thing that we advocated for. And there's so many other stuff that Trang, the team, has advocated for as well, to make sure there's equitable access for BIPOC elders and BIPOC individuals. So I think as more info comes, we can definitely send that to the listserv and let folks stay afloat and updated on that conversation. There is a letter being drafted right now and worked on by Amy and Michael Biyun and others around Lyft transportation support. So they can actually have transportation credits to get folks to the vaccination sites. So once we hear a little bit more on if that's going to be open, we'll definitely keep everyone updated. I want to go ahead and bring on Michael Eady. Michael Eady's been working with the Coalition Against Hate and Bias. I invited Michael to give us a little update, an overview of what's going on in that arena and how we can also help. Michael, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks, Sumit. So the Coalition Against Hate and Bias was created in the middle of last year during the pandemic, and the work has been around helping communities report incidents of hate and bias. So as we know, there's been a rise in anti-Asian hate and violence in the last over the last year, and driven by what Trump was saying last year, and then now we're seeing in the last couple of weeks some very serious incidents that's resulting in injuries and death. And so the coalition partners include the COVID-19 Response Fund Alliance, CISC, East Side for All, Muslim Community and Neighborhood Association, Seattle Chinatown ID PDA, and then United Indians of All Tribes Foundation and the Vietnamese American Community of Seattle, Snohomish, King counties. So with CISC, we are able to collect reports in various languages, including Cantonese, Mandarin, Russian, Spanish, and Vietnamese. And to date, we have collected over 180 incidents of hate and bias. About a third of them are verbal assault and threats. And they occur, mostly, the reports have been mostly from women. And also they have been occurring, in the afternoon and in the afternoon hours. A lot of them are in public spaces like sidewalks, public transportation, a business, or a park. So a lot of this information does mirror what we're seeing nationally with the Stop AAPI Hate data. And I'll go ahead and link in the chat the page that has more information about the coalition.
Sounds good. Thank you, Michael. Michael, would you, maybe you and Chris and Helen can link up around the data so we can help support each other. We can talk offline.
Yeah, thanks for all the work. And yeah, we definitely need to look at our data and work to advocate together for our communities.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And thanks for the link. We'll send that out with our notes too. I want to go ahead and ask Risa. Risa, did you want to give us an update on the housing bills we've been supporting, where we're at? Thank you, Risa.
Yeah, absolutely. So EEC and Partners in Change has been working with the Washington Low Income Housing Alliance along some housing priorities for this legislative session. And a couple of things we've been taking some action on are House Bill 1277, which would create an ongoing emergency rental assistance program and fund operations and maintenance for permanent supportive housing. It has a big hearing in the Senate Ways and Means, I think coming up soon, which is one of the bigger hurdles. So, sorry, I can forward an action item on that to submit to send out if people are interested. A couple of other things are the capital budget, looking to get the capital budget to match the Senate's proposal of about $200 million for the Housing Trust Fund and $90 million for the rapid acquisition of properties for emergency shelter and affordable housing. And we're also looking for the operating budget to match the House proposal, which would increase funding for housing and essential needs, providing over $1 billion in emergency rental assistance, which would fund homeless shelter capacity grants with $35 million, increased funding for operations and maintenance of permanent supportive housing, and increased funding for the Anchor Communities Initiative. And like I said, I can forward those action items to Sumait if folks are interested in getting some more affordable housing in the area.
Sounds great. Thank you, Risa. Yes, that would be awesome that we can send it to folks. Thank you. And Sharon is busy, so she's not able to jump on with us. So I'm just going to give a little brief update. I know you all probably have heard we have been included in the Senate budget for $6 million and then in the House budget for $7.5 million. So right now we're just going to figure out where they're going to meet to negotiate that for the digital equity work. The Connect Washington Coalition will be working to pretty much stand that up, and Sharon has been working largely on that project. So that will be coming down the road. And this is kind of like the next step after our digital equity work in the fall and winter, which we've worked to basically worked with about 1,000 families to see what their needs were around the digital equity needs like technology, infrastructure, broadband, and that's with about 20 partners. So we'll continue to build on that, and more info will come as Sharon finalizes that. Next up, I want to bring up Ali. Ali is with the King County International Airport Community Coalition. Ali, can you give us an overview on what the coalition has been working on and some of the specific asks and how we can also help support? Thank you, Ali.
Sure, great. Thank you, Smith. And Smith's also on the coalition as well. We had started off the coalition and working with the King County International Airport on some pretty key factors. One is the health disparities, two is air, noise, and the landscape sort of area. In working with really their strategic plan is how we started off, and we were finding that the equity needs for the community was not being met. So what we had done is then created a coalition of like-minded individuals and organizations. Some of them is the Beacon Hill Council, the Georgetown Alliance, 350 Duwamish, and several more. There's about 15 or 20, and we welcome anyone who is concerned about the health and disparities to join us if you would like. We asked the King County Airport for 12 equity needs. Again, health for sure is one of them, especially we found through the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency that there are huge disparities, especially in the Duwamish area where the life expectancy is 13 years less than other areas of town and counties. And then the CID and also in Georgetown area. We're breaking up into different groups. We've met with city council members, we've met with county council members, and continuing our sort of move forward as they're moving forward with their strategic plan. Two areas that have come up very quickly is number one, the addition of 300 feet to their runway, which would then impact the Georgetown community for sure, and other areas with that new runway, and is it really needed at this time? And then number two is sort of the health disparities is what we're looking at. We're also looking at other things such as a community center for emergency sites, and then several others. So again, we just sort of welcome everybody to join us if you would like, or more information, we're happy to send that forward as far as our 12 equity needs that we're looking for in the community. Any questions, feel free to let us know. And leading the charge is former House Rep Velma Valoria, Maria, and then all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Ali, can you drop your information in the chat if folks want to connect around that? And I can share the equity needs through the notes too. Thank you. So folks, those are our updates portion. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to connect with us on that. But most of the links and stuff will also be shared during the notes. Up next, I want to bring up an issue that has come to our attention in the last week and a half as well. And we've been talking to Chris about it. Christopher, we'd love to hear about your story, and you know, we want to figure out how we can actually help to support to make sure that you do get pardoned, and that what we can do with the Clemency and Pardons Board. A little backdrop, yesterday we did meet with the governor's office and also got We are getting connected through the ATG's office right now with someone who works on this, but we'll probably have that conversation with them next week since that person is out of town right now. So Chris, the floor is yours. Let us know what's going on, your story, and what's the best way to help support you, and then some Q&As from the community members here would be wonderful. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Smith, and thank you for all that have joined today's meeting. It's very humbling. This is definitely an issue that it eats at me, I would say, on a daily basis. I've had conversations with a few of you about it. But 17 years ago, I was committed a crime for kidnapping. There was a time in my life when I pretty much lost everything. And it was to the point to where that previously I wasn't able to accomplish something. And so I figured that I would figure out another way to accomplish what I wanted to do, and that was to commit suicide. This was after losing a marriage, losing a job, losing the kids in my life that I love so dearly. 3 other times before this incident, I did try to commit suicide, and I was unsuccessful. There was always somebody stopping me. There was the police knocking at the door, stopping because somebody called in a health check. But this time I figured that I would kidnap an individual and I would force the police into a shootout. It would have been suicide by cop, basically. I ended up kidnapping a child, a 9-year-old child, which is something that haunts me to this day, 17 years later. But during the commission of the crime, I realized that if I were to go through with what I had intended on planning, then more than likely the victim would have ended up also suffering because of my actions. And so I gave up. I didn't want to go to a trial. I was guilty. There was no need to put anybody else through this. I was given what would be considered an exceptional sentence. I ended up getting a 12-year sentence, serving 11 and a half years of those. But it wasn't until going to prison that kind of really changed things for me, I guess. I was always raised in a family that believed that incarceration was the all means end, and that once you're incarcerated, you definitely deserve to be incarcerated, and you should probably throw away the key. So my background before that, though, is that I ended up escaping the Vietnam War in 1975 during Operation Baby Lift, when the U.S. government was bringing kids over, and I ended up somehow getting brought over. I was fortunate enough to get adopted in Guam shortly after that. I would say it was the all-American family. I was pretty much raised in Alaska, living the outdoor life. Wasn't really around a lot of minorities because of the areas that we lived in. I think that myself and there was one other Asian kid in my school. But the thing is, assimilating into white culture, that was just something that just wasn't an option to me. It was to the point to where that I pretty much denied that I was Vietnamese. And so all through high school, I went through as a white kid. I had a lot of issues that my family didn't realize, especially when it came to being the kid that didn't look like he was white, but had a white name. It wasn't until I got into college that I started researching kind of my roots and my identity and stuff like that. And there was a lot of issues that I had to face, a lot of issues because of abandonment. It wasn't because of the family that adopted me, because like I said, they were the world's greatest, but not knowing your past or anything like that, not knowing your culture, not knowing your language. I ended up going to college, getting married, having 2 wonderful kids, and the thing is, these kids were the only connections that I have to a past. They were my blood. They're the only things that I knew. And when those were taken away, it kind of threw me for a loop. I don't know how to explain it. I just didn't want to exist anymore. But after arriving in prison, one of the things that I realized was that when I saw people coming into the prison system, it was strange because it wasn't an individual that was getting locked up per se. It was more or less communities that were getting locked up because it was interesting seeing that the people that were locked up, it would be their neighbors that would also get locked up shortly after them or sometime down the road, or it'd be a family member. And by getting to know individuals on a personal note, this is when you started realizing that this incarceration were like little micro communities that they were happening in. And it wasn't because the person didn't know from right or wrong, which is part of it. And people are having to accept their responsibilities in this, but a lot of the issues that we were seeing were also having to do with circumstances. Sometimes it was survival. Sometimes it was because the community that you grew up in, this is how things were done. And yeah, we could say that that's crazy in looking at it, but in reality, we're not in those positions. We don't live in those neighborhoods. Some of us do. And some of us know that this is the reality of what we see. And so I started getting into a program called University Beyond Bars, and that was to be able to educate people to kind of, because the thing is, you would see the younger generation coming into the prison system like a revolving door. 6 months after they got out, they would come back because there was a lack of programming and rehabilitation in our prison systems. So through University Beyond Bars, I ended up being one of the student advocates to get college professors to come in and teach their courses. And then of course, the courses that I taught were college calculus and Japanese. And it was amazing being able to see individuals kind of grow, because this was a neutral place that you could see that you weren't going to see fights in this area, because if it happens, then it pretty much shuts down the whole program. We would have gang members from the Bloods and Crips that were usually against each other out in the prison yard or something. But when they come into the education to actually start learning things, that's when it becomes like a holy ground. It's a neutral territory. We started out with, I think, 11 people in the program, and now they're up to like over 800 people that are getting their college degrees while they're in prison. And then it was about 3 years before I was released that I was told that I was being deported. And it was like, how is that possible? And then I was talking to my family about the deportation. My family was like, no, that's impossible. You're adopted when you're little. You got your citizenship when you're little. And so sure enough, when I was released from prison, then that's when immigration came and picked me up. So I didn't get to have the release and go to see my family or anything. It was straight to immigration detention. And it was there that I was told that I wasn't a US citizen. They said I might be a US citizen, but they think I'm not. And so by that, they issued me an order of deportation back to Vietnam. My permanent residency had been revoked. The saving grace that we have right now is that Vietnam with the MOU won't accept me back at this moment because of the MOU. And on top of that, there's also the fact that there is no record that I even existed in Vietnam. So that's kind of difficult to show right now. But the fact is that every year I do have to go to those deportation meetings to find out if this is the day, if this is my ticket. Just recently, they had 30 Vietnamese that were just deported in March. 5 days before the deportation flight, I was called into immigration to report in. And of course, I thought that was it. Out of those 30 people, 6 of them were pre-96 that technically couldn't have been deported, but they are deported now. after I got immigration's holding, I got a chance to speak at ACRS on the education to prison to deportation pipeline. And from that small little speech, within 5 months, I ended up getting invited to speak at a congressional briefing at DC, speaking on the topic. And then also while we were in DC, speaking at the White House, we ended up getting invited. So I guess you could say the first formerly incarcerated deportee being able to speak at an event like that was just something that I knew that I wanted to do. And then that's when I had met another organization in DC that had come in to listen to me speak, and they found out that I was an adoptee and that there was a deportation order. I did study a little bit of law while I was in prison, and so from that event, I was asked to come and speak to immigration lawyers about the deportation process, about adoptees without citizenship. And then that's when I got onto the national campaign working with our US Congress to pass a bill that would grant all US adoptees citizenship that were adopted in US families. And a lot of people are asking, so why didn't you get your citizenship? Why didn't your family file for it? In reality, while we requested a FOIA from the US government, we got the documentation back, and they had filed for my citizenship in 1989 before my 18th birthday. Some reason INS had noted that they couldn't find the adoption records, even though they have a checklist of everything that they've accepted. This is kind of strange, but in 1989, a citizenship paperwork was only $35. Now we're looking at $1,400. That's not that long ago. But because of the misplacement of the adoption records, immigration had withdrawn the file, and they never notified anybody. So all this time, we never knew that I was lacking citizenship. So now here in the state of Washington, I've worked with the governor's office to create Stop the Hate Community, a website reporting tool to be able to report anti-Asian bias. I've worked at several high schools teaching robotics and code block programming for kids. I've also created the Priority Hire program, Martha, for the Urban League, that basically went into our communities and got our members back into working in the construction trades where they would never have a chance. And then we took one step further and we brought this into the prisons, to where now the pre-apprenticeship programs are inside the prisons, to where when people are within 6 months of the release, they can enter these programs, and a lot of them end up getting jobs when they're released from prison in these construction trades. And why that is so important is because that was one of the biggest hurdles for people coming out of incarceration. One, they didn't have any type of formal training, and they didn't have any opportunities coming out. Now with the ability to be able to get their training in prison, to also work with organizations like Martha's for relicensing, it makes it a lot easier with the Department of, the Child System Services here on getting their child support taken care of while they were incarcerated. Makes a huge difference. So a lot of people have asked me, well, how come I haven't worked on my case? And that's a great question. I've put my pardon case on hold because there are so many other cases that we're working on. I feel that I do have somewhat of a protection, but that protection is starting to expire. And so lately I've been working on pardon cases in California, pardon cases in Pennsylvania. But when it comes to my pardon case, it's just something that is just so enigmatic to me, to where I don't know. I guess you could say I'm scared of it. I guess you say because I carry this guilt with me from a crime committed 17 years ago, it's something that I can't let go. That's why I've had a lot of community support and people asking to help on this, and I'm extremely grateful for this process. The only way for me to get relief from deportation now is this pardon process. Even passing the adoptee citizenship bill now, I still would not qualify, and we found out. And so by getting a governor's pardon on this, it vacates the crime. And so it basically takes back the plea agreement. And without that conviction of a crime, then then we file for a motion with immigration to reopen my case and remove the order of deportation and reinstate my permanent residency, which would allow me my path to citizenship.
Chris, yeah, no, thank you, Chris, for like being brave and like sharing that story and just continuing to work with our communities around these. And Chris, what are the steps taken now with your journey, and what are the ways that we can actually help support? I know that we talked about all of us writing to the board, connecting with the board and the ATG's office. What are some things that you need support around?
Yeah, so right now the biggest thing that we need is there's a shared link with the letter from my lawyer on this, and the lawyer needs as many support letters as possible, so that way it can be first submitted to the board. That would be the very first step. After that step, once the board reviews it, if they accept it, then a hearing would be scheduled. I'm assuming now because of COVID, it's going to end up being a virtual hearing. And this is where we would also want support on people trying to be on the virtual call itself. But the number one thing is the support letter. A lot of you guys have known me for a few years now, and the support letter basically entails of what the person's character is and how they've changed, I guess you could say.
Chris, this is Cindy. Thank you for sharing your story. And, it's a travesty because I think your story shows that when people need help, they don't get it. And you've had to go through a difficult road in your life. And, I certainly am willing to help you write a letter. Also because you have been such a great asset to our community and you have given back. I mean, you are so smart and skilled. You could have said, I'm going to go get my piece of the world and screw everyone else, right? Given your experience, and you haven't, and you've stayed in the community and helped with, your brilliant skills. And so I think we owe it to you to assist you now and to help you on your path. So I want to thank you always for being there to help us and the community. And I think that we should all step up and help you because you have given back. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just want to share something. My name is Anissa Durzido. I am a deported adoptee in Central America, Panama, right as we speak. I was deported in 2006, and I just found out that Chris had he had put his case aside to work from the bill that would bring me home. Chris has advocated for me to have electricity and running water and a prosthetic leg. And I was very hurt that he had put that aside. But at the same time, his selfless act helps me have faith that one day I'll be able to come home. And I know how hard it is to share your case because I do it in front of the legislators for us to have change and have this law change so that adoptees don't have to go through the hell that I'm going through right now and being separated from my family. So I want to ask you all to please help him because he never thinks of himself. And if I was at home and I had a chance to get a pardon, I don't know if I would be able to be that strong and say, I'm going to sit this aside while I work to help 56 adoptees that have been deported come back home. So I want to thank Chris, and I want to thank everybody that has helped, that will help him to be able to get his pardon done so that he can continue being the voice for us that are voiceless right now. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share or any questions for Chris as well? Alice, thank you, Anissa, again for that really heartfelt testimony of yours. Thank you.
I just have one question. Of course, the letter shared to turn in the letter of support, character letter of support on January. Is there, it's sometimes helpful for those of us who need a little fire under our feet to know when is a good due date to write. Sorry, I have to go to the Chinese in me and getting it, things done and sharing that, because then that will really help everybody, think about how to prioritize this so we can get this in and to mobilize. Chris, do you have a thought, Christopher?
Yeah, so disregard the date on the letter because that time has already passed. This is something that was started last, I think, not last September, but the September before that. I've been working with ACRS and One America on this. But had to put things aside so we could get other things accomplished. The lawyer's wanting support letters as soon as possible because he wants to file ASAP. They're thinking that if I have to go through another round of a deportation hearing, that it's possible that I won't make it to the next round.
Chris, and this question came up twice. Do you need a group letter or individual letter that we can help work on?
Organization letters work, but also individual letters are usually more personable. But so maybe both if people are willing to submit.
This question goes to Michael Eady. Michael, I know you've been at the governor's office for a few years. From your experience, what does this look like?
Right. Yeah, I did. I know that there was an issue about having an expedited process for this, but I think that it's been quite a few years, and I'm not sure whether I have any. I mean, I haven't been tracking the changes though since I left the commission, so I don't have anything else to add at the moment. But it sounds like a lot of letters would be really important to have support.
On our end, we did get connected through Sahar. Sorry, pistachio stuck in my throat. It's been an hour. I don't know why it's still there. But I know. But Sahar has connected us with Jennifer, who's working on this and asking Jennifer to meet with a community of folks like us. I think she works closely with the Clemency and Pardons Board. So maybe that's also another next step. And if folks are interested here in this group, we can loop everyone together once that meeting takes place. And then to Cindy, yes, like let's see how we can write that letter out. As you know, I'm not really good in language arts, so we'll have to work with each other on this. Falaka, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I was wondering, hi. I was wondering if there's any financial support that you may need.
No, thank you very much.
Okay.
Is there like a draft letter that people could see me, Samet and myself?
Yeah, I have a draft letter of another individual that was going through the same process due to deportation. Let me go ahead and block out any personal information that's in that letter.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I know Dennis raised his hand.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, I didn't see the hands.
Oh, okay.
Dennis, thank you.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, so Hafa-Adai, I'm actually sitting on my porch in Guam, where Chris's plane landed here many years ago. So I was 13 at the time when Chris joined the family. He was 4, I believe, and my father was a volunteer at the refugee camp. It was not far from where we live here today. And he would go each day and deliver ice to the refugee camp. And that's where Chris, I guess, had never seen ice, kind of latched on to my dad back and forth for weeks. And one day, my father just brought him home and said, "Here's your new brother." So that's how his journey started with us here in Guam. And, we all go through our ups and our downs and our bad times. I tried to stay as close to Chris during his incarceration time in Guam, but the distance, and they probably visited the States a few times, and we would go straight to the prison to visit him and say hey. But we're super proud of what he accomplished while he was in there. He's no dummy. He's brilliant. As a matter of fact, the kid is he's brilliant. He does a lot of things that I couldn't do. I'm a nuts and bolts kind of a guy, but still his big brother. And we love him. We'll support him no matter what. So that's it. We'll do whatever we can from Guam, bro. But you got a lot of good people around you. So a lot of people that love you. We love you.
And do you want copies of the letter or to your lawyer?
Yeah, so the letters need to go directly to the lawyer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can, when I write mine, I can send it to a few of you just so you have like some, not to say I'm a great writer or anything, but get the juices flowing. So I'll also work on that in the next couple of days and elevate that up on my priority list.
Really appreciate that, Alice. And feel free also, I'm thinking like if there's a draft letter, Chris, I can put it on Google Drive so we all have access to it, and then we can help to build the content or amend and edit it if we do want to individually send it in.
This is Sharon. I'm happy to start a draft letter and put something together.
I was waiting for you to say that. Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, I might need a glass of wine, but I'm gonna get all poetic on this and just be like, Chris, don't edit the letter and be like, no, I don't do any of that. Just let me write what I write, and we'll get you to stay, dude.
I see Elle has some bottles of wine, Sharon. You come help yourself.
I'm gonna get a new shipment next Monday, so I'm just saying. The last shipment came on Friday. I think they're gonna think I'm gonna have a problem here.
Well, don't worry. If Chris gets his citizenship, he's going to buy us a bottle of wine each.
Absolutely.
As Chris's employer, I can neither condone nor. But I'm just saying, we're moving into a bigger facility, so we might just have a Chris is staying home party.
That'd be nice. Yeah. So Chris, I'm going to, I'll go ahead and reply back to Jennifer and Sahar. And then once we have a next kind of like community meet date, then whoever's on this call, if you do want to be involved in that and I don't have your email, please email me and I'll make sure that we get you the information for that meeting as well. And then in the meantime, we'll get the drafts together and share it with everyone so people can have the opportunity to sign together as a group letter and also do an individual letter. Does that sound good with folks? Okay. And I know we're at time, but I just want to give space again. Does anyone else have any items or anything else they want to share and reflect on our conversation today and with Chris's testimony and Anissa?
I just want to say to Anissa that if you need anything, you should let us know. I mean, you have been deported. If you need financial help, letters of support, anything, you should ask us. We're here for you too.
Visitors.
Say desserts.
I'll take visitors, and if you guys can help us get the word out to legislators and.
Yeah, for sure. I'm wondering how we can also loop you and Anissa, because the digital equity cohort will be also looking to meet with Cantwell and Murray. And I wonder if that's a space to also discuss some of these stories that you both are bringing up. Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
I don't know who they are, but I'm always willing to share my story to try to get some help.
Sure, yes. Any other folks that want to provide any last minute reflection or sharing before we sunset?
On another note, if you don't mind if I share, Samith.
Yeah, sure.
I'm working on the Clean Fuels campaign right now, and the biggest part of that is part of the equity needs. Making sure that when electric cars come out, when there's charging stations, that there's no sort of charge to the community, but it's something that is equitable and in place for everyone. So really looking for support. The bill goes to the Senate floor tomorrow. We have a petition to send around, so Samantha, I'll send that forward to you. We would love support from everyone here to then move forward with that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me participate in this space.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so one of the other issues that I think the thing is, I'm not the only person that faces this, and so I don't want people to think that this is just a one-off. Especially for our Southeast Asian communities that migrated in the mid 70s all the way up to the mid 80s and stuff, and some of the neighborhoods that they had to be dispersed to, and some of the things that they had to do to go through survival. There are still others that don't have citizenship that are facing these deportation issues. I think this is something that for the state of Washington, at least, that we could work with our lawmakers to put together something, hopefully a bill that gives some type of protected status to these individuals that have migrated here and that have been here for a lengthy amount of time. Especially for people that are now getting deported for crimes that were committed well over many years ago, which is just unfathomable, especially with our individuals now being an asset to our communities, I guess. Hopefully this is something that we can start coming up in the new year, because I know my plate for this year is completely booked, but this is something that I definitely would want to put 1,000% into, because once again, I'm not the only one that has these type of deportation issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's worth exploring for sure. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of other people involved in it. I wonder how we can build a larger space for the other folks who are doing this work to come into this conversation as well, so that we can expand the access of this information, but how we can strategize moving forward. I think, Cindy, like your experience in activism and all that you've done, I think that's going to be such an invaluable piece, and figuring out how we can help support to build legislation on this. With that being said, I know we're like 5 minutes over. I just want to again ask last call, like we're in a bar, but you know what I mean. Like, anyone else want to provide?
Seriously?
Did you just say seriously after I said bar?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have any last minute reflections or sharing that you want to provide? Okay, well, I want to thank you all, and I will connect by trying to send out the notes again. And if you don't have my email, please connect with me so I get you into the other conversation. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Anissa. Thank you for sharing your testimony. And we will be in touch. Have a wonderful evening.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good to see everybody.